Ankita, for me, it's a bit interesting to know that how did you apply for a product management role at Sawo Labs, and what did the role overall involve? What was your key accountabilities or responsibilities, and overall the experience? Could you just summarize it? Yeah.
Would love to. So again, community comes into picture. So I was into this. I saw a post by Siddhant on his LinkedIn where he said that he was a Sago Labs community manager when he was a community manager. And I was like, okay. And then he mentioned about, try checking this platform, join the Discord, you'll find this, you'll find that. I was like, okay, let's try this out because this guy really knows what he's doing with community, so I can trust him. And I hopped in. And then when I checked stuff out, I was like, okay, they have opportunities corner where you get so at that time they were doing a great job on Discord, maintaining that opportunities corner. So any single opportunity across India or across the globe which you could find or hear of, you could find it for any single role. So that became a job posting hunt for me. Every day I used to go there and I used to see. At one point of time, they said our team needs a set of interns for these roles. I was like, अपनी किस्मत चमक गई बाबू भैया. I mean, I want to see this organization out, which I've been involved with so much. Let's see. And at that time, what was trending? This was trending, that was trending, like passwords, but password less sounded like too interesting to me. So I was like, chalo documentation वगैरह देखते हैं, let's understand what's happening. And that concept sounded really interesting to me. So I was like, नहीं, इस कंपनी में जाना है. Their process was send your resume to the HR via so and so platform. They had mentioned what you have to do. And I had sent my resume, my interests and stuff. After like a week or two's wait, I got the HR's call and she said that, okay, we'd like to, fix an interview start. Unfortunately, my university was starting the mid-sems and was also going to be followed by the end-sems according to our schedule. So I was like, 1 month, I'm not free. They're like, amazing. So we'll reach back to you. So you should never do it, but trust me, our university's exam schedule is horrible. Trust me, either you'll fail in the semesters or you have to give up this opportunity. So I was like, I'm heartily sorry. I sent them my schedules. I was like, this is what it is. And you are saying you need 2 to 3 interviews one after another, and that be impossible for me at this point of time. So this is like uh, too much for me. So she reached out to me again out of the blue after 1.5 months, saying, and it was not her, it was another person, but from her team. And he said that I'll put quote unquote. Wow, every time I think about it, it gives me blushes. My heart starts fluttering. So it's like he said over the phone, hi, am I talking to Ankita? I was like, yes. And then he was like, okay, so I got your resume today, forwarded from the CEO's office, and we had you on the wait list because you did not have availabilities. We still have these two openings. I had applied for 3 to 4 positions, different positions in different teams. They're like, we have these two openings. And I'm not sure what both of them were, but one of them you had filled for one of these openings. And yeah, would you like to interview? Do you have a slot? I'm like, I would love to. I'm all in. And he actually might have gotten goosebumps the way I shouted. I was like, yes, please. I'm really sorry I couldn't do it earlier. Please. They're like, are you okay with an interview tomorrow? I'm like, I'm okay with an interview today itself. Anytime it works. So he's like, he
Wow.
scheduled the interview. I got into the call. I had a bit of chit chatting around, how much I understand the tool and things, my experiences and stuff. And then I got a home task. And then there was this home task that I did within 24 hours. I had to submit it. They did the evaluation. Then we had another round of discussion on what the home task was, how did I solve it, why did I do the things I did, some more questions in and around. And then I was having another call, which is with the team lead. So she came in and then she was like, okay, what do you want? Expectations, stuff, here and that, salary negotiations, and everything happening. And I was like, okay, everything is good. Like, when would you like to start? I'm like, whenever you say, like, how about tomorrow? I'm like, tomorrow? Yeah, sure, tomorrow. I have That was the first time I never discussed with my parents that I'm going to do something. I'm doing it without them knowing. I'm like, yeah, tomorrow. So we'll send you the agreements. I'm like, yeah. And I end the call. I'm like, wow, I made it. So just to give you all a context, I was not into the product role ever since the beginning. The role that was I had felt the interest from for product management, for growth management, and business operations. So there were like different roles, and then there was a tech role that I'd also applied for. So they had these openings filled within that 1 month of my exam schedule. Definitely, what more could I expect? I was like, इतना भी मिल रहा है भिखारी के थैले में उतना काफी है because I so badly wanted to be a part of Sawa at that time. I wanted to know because this organization and their stuff was so around, it was so trending at that point of time. I was like, nahi, I have to try, I have to be a part of this team, I have to know how this is working. So I got into, and things were great. I entered on a growth role. It was basically researching, improving the docs, trying out the new features that were coming up, and then documenting them, doing tests. Because I was someone who had technical background and I was up here, so I could report bugs. I could do the tests and report bugs, and I could say that okay, this is what could be done. How about we do this? How about we do that? Have some discussions, get connected. Then I had an amazing thing in this role. I got a chance to reach out to a lot of YouTubers, big fat
Oh,
YouTubers, small town YouTubers. I got their what do you call this? Media kits. Media kits are like for every YouTuber you charge so and so for so and so promotion and stuff. So I was just making a list of this, and then competitor list and all. It's so normal and thing, but something that was new to me was reaching out to these people and see. So I'm like, I have seen a few of them interact and react so amazingly on YouTube, but when I got calls with them, I was like, ये दूसरा ही बंदा आ गया ये दूसरी बंदी आ गई tone change personality change it's not like they were rude it's like someone who was very grave out there is smiling laughing and giggling I'm like I never thought this person is going to smile I thought I had to crack jokes to make this person speak like ये कैसे हो गया so such a big personality difference so that was an interesting part of it and then when I saw media kits I understood Baba re Baba, this is like some YouTubers have nanos and crores of income every month. I get it. Brand endorsements and promotions are a different issue. So I learned a lot about people, like a lot. It was great at that point of time. Then after 1.5 months, or exactly 1 month, 10 days, 15 days, the product team lead. So my manager at that moment said, "We are migrating you." I'm like, huh? We are migrating you to the product team. I'm like, huh? I just returned from university that day. So I came back at somewhere around 4:30. I reached home and that call was scheduled at 4:45. I just came running and then there was our CEO of that time in that call. He's like, "You're okay, right, Ankita?" Yeah. Like, "Khush nahi ho?" I'm like, "No, that's not the issue. I'm still under shock." First, I came running. Second, you're giving me something I really wanted to be a part of. I'm like, what more could I ask? Then, so I was like,
like,
this is all I had in mind going up. I'm like, yeah, we're starting tomorrow on. You just have to, finish stuff here and do this. I'm like, bang on, chalo.
what better? Yeah.
Then I was like, PRDs banao. Everything that I learned, from Insudra and other programs and all the courses I did, like, I'm applying it. Product documentations बनाना है, ये बनाना है, वो बनाना है, feature request बनाना है, ऐसे करना है, ऐसे करना. Then I was like, when you get a mentor who is guiding you on top, I had like a real product manager who was very experienced and I had two to three. Like I was migrating. So they were testing because we were interns. So there were tasks that were happening and this particular person is in charge of this is in charge of this. So we were migrating within teams as well. So I got a taste of every single aspect of product and I was so thankful to the PM lead at that time. I was like, you gave me an experience of PM that I would not have had in years in a row, like every single part of it, from building to managing to customer testing to launching to community relations, every single thing that I could have. You give me all plethora of options. I'm like, hats off to you. Thank you for making my life. I got so much at that point of time. So yeah, I mean that's how I joined, how I
That's great.
migrated, and experiences within.
Unimaginable. Yeah, indeed. Ankita, like you had been also part of the Microsoft Learn Student Ambassador program and also the Google Crowdsource. So, could you tell us about your involvement into these communities and how they have impacted your growth in tech, as in as you joined in your initial days?
Sure. So, I think MLSA, or the Microsoft Student Loan Ambassador Program, which I'm currently a beta, I'm running for the Gold Ambassador thing that's coming up, like filling forms, asking people to do it. There's a different nomination procedure that happens for Gold, and I missed two nominations earlier for a few reasons.
Fingers
So,
crossed.
regarding how I hopped into MLSA, it was more of I got a lot from community, so I wanted to give back. And then I was like, okay, I went out to my fellow mates and folks and batchmates in uni, and they were like, I told them about community, and घंटा फर्क नहीं पड़ रहा था उन लोग को. I was like, ठीक है, there has to be something these people that excites them. So I saw them reacting. I saw a few of my friends reacting a lot to MLSA events. It's like, okay, I think I know what I have to do. So that's when I started researching about this. I reached out to some previous MLSAs. I figured out what impact it would have on me. What could I gain? What could I give back? And balancing everything out on the weighing scale, I was like, let's go for it. I went heads on the interview, gave up stuff, recorded videos, did everything. First go, first shot, clear selection. I was like, wow, people told me do teen baar lag jayega. I was like overwhelmed. Like, chalo, theek hai. I entered, and then we had training sessions where we were being trained with the latest technologies. We got to know about a lot of documentation. We got to know about a lot of stuff that was going in and around that a lot of people usually do not or are not aware of generally. So things and news used to come faster to us, and then we were connect. For the first time, I was connected to students of my age only, or somewhere around my age only, across the globe. I could collaborate with anyone. I had the liberty of hosting my own events, collaborating with anyone and doing stuff. So that gave that, bachpan ka leadership that I had throughout school leader, A leader, wo leader, class leader. That leadership somehow became overpowering. I'm like, अभी इन सबको भी leadership करेंगे, इसमें भी डालेंगे. So I entered in and I did. I learned a lot, and then I implemented it on my university folks. So the first way I made friends in the pandemic in uni was through MLSA. Majority crowdsource and MLSA, both of them. This was how the MLSA thing went. So I kept learning. I apply and applying, and then getting. So people think MLSA may the joining MLSA goodies is what you get is all you get. They also tell you about programs and other things happening in cloud, especially cloud. If you're someone who wants to get into those developer advocate roles or cloud advocate roles or cloud, stuff, they bring you literal engineers, employees, and advocates and everything you might need. You name it, they get it. So wow,
Exactly.
wow. I had never seen
Like
something like
that
that.
will
Even if
be
even if a faction of students in any university write down a memorandum and say ये course change करो and ऐसा बनाओ, it's very difficult to get past. But here, if you say that we need guidance on this or we need this speaker or can you have this done, you can get it. There's always a scope and possibility. So that thing is really great. Google Crowdsource. Chumeshwari performance. Should I say that? Yes, I should. I was working on a particular project of mine where I needed a lot of images of a particular food article or item, which on web there was no particular image. And I called people, everyone I knew, who could give me those images, and one of them in Silicon University or Silicon Institute of Technology in Odisha or Bhubaneswar. I reached out to a school senior of mine, and she said, I know someone who can give this to you. I'm like, oh, wow, wow, a green signal. Every time I get a green signal, I start jumping. I don't know what would be the consequence, but I still start jumping. So I went up there, I reached out to that person, and he's like, he told me he would help me, he would do this, and then he was like, rather than complaining, I would suggest people like you should, who have this potential and can, you should run Google Crowdsource, become an influencer, and lead this region. I'm like, huh? Google Crowdsource? Region? Excuse me, I just need photos for this project to get completed, please. आगे पीछे कुछ नहीं, बहुत चीजें हैं हाथों में, like I can't do this. Then he was like, नहीं, try this out, Ankita. बहुत अच्छी चीज है, you should get into this, trust me. I'm like, okay. तुम्हारे मोटो के साथ align होगा. My motto was and is that I bring, technology has bridged so many gaps in life. and our lifestyle. So why not within culture and diversity and stuff? So it's like, let's give it a try. I checked things out. I figured out Google Crowdsource is not just any other thing happening. It's like this struggle that I was going through of not getting images is because there's not enough data that Google can give me. So let's give Google data so that Google can train its tools better and give me that data back, or give anyone else who ever needs that data back. You can freely post a picture of yours on any social media. You can freely post a picture of any of your cultural events on any social media platform. If you have and if you can, why not post it again with all rights into this crowdsource platform so that we can train machine learning models better? You know, but at this point of time can relate to me. We went to a particular hackathons a few months back, very few months back, where the
Exactly.
sole issue we
The
had,
same
or
issue,
the
like
data set, because of data set, lack of data set, the machine learning model never gave us our desired accuracy. And until the very end, people came up and told us, yeah, but then you see, it's difficult to give you that data. We're like, कुछ नया बता दो यार. We know data नहीं है. So for those situations, and
we
that's
have
when I
to.
got to know why Google needs something like Crowdsource, and why we should contribute to Crowdsource and give them the data they need to make our lives better. They are legally taking this data from me. Illegally तुम्हारे phone का photo तो उड़ा के ले नहीं जा रहे हैं यहाँ पे Crowdsource में to train that data. So anything you feel you could give, like writing, taking pictures, naming stuff, doing anything, go to the Crowdsource app, test it out, and you'll understand. That's when I understood, okay, my motto of joining culture and technology matches here, and that's how I entered Crowdsource, and that's whatever I'm doing. So I've got an upgrade from like contributing to Crowdsource to becoming an influencer of Crowdsource in March. So I started contributing to Crowdsource from October of 2020. I became an influencer in March of 2021. And right now, I'm the first batch of Crowdsource mentors. So officially, anyone from the region of Odisha or in and around this place who wants to become a Crowdsource influencer or have your own community, your own cultural community, where you also talk about tech and stuff, or you are into a university where you want to bring the Crowdsource program. They have CLC program, the Crowdsource program, where they teach you about machine learning concepts, why and how they use it in a particular way in their apps and tools and stuff in and around. If you want to explore all that stuff, feel free to reach out to me through any medium. I'm in every particular medium you can find me. You just need to find me. That's it. And
Exactly.
I'll help you settle things up. So being here, getting to know people. So for me, Crowdsource was like, okay, I don't get data, I'll give data. But when I entered Crowdsource, I saw people from across the globe for different reasons. Someone is trying to learn a new language. Someone is trying to give their culture and community that's dying a global platform of recognition. Someone is trying to, build awareness. Someone is trying to make that language better. Someone is trying to. So there was this one person whose cousin went to a foreign country to work, and he signed on an agreement which is written in foreign language, and landed into legal troubles because he never understood what it literally meant. So he's like, if Google Lens would have worked far better at that point of time, things would have been more clear. That उस time तो Google Lens था भी नहीं. So he's like, if I can make Google Lens better and help anyone who would not land into a trouble that my cousin landed into, I'll do. I'll tell people, jao डालो data. Let's do this. So people have different reasons why they come to Crowdsource. Just my message to anyone or everyone whenever I speak about Crowdsource is, go to this platform, learn, figure, and analyze. Can you do this? Do you need this? Rationalize, put it on the weighing scale, and then go ahead. So anything you do in life, go to the platform, do your own set of research first. Then reach out to people who have been a part of it, and then decide if you want to be a part of it. Until and unless, don't jump into conclusions.
So hey Ankita, also like I found you as a developer champion at UiPath. So like could you just tell me what does the role overall involve, and how do you promote automation technology being a student?
So I think it was 2nd of July when it was my birthday. It's my birthday. 2nd of July is my birthday. It was that particular day that my placement cell director called out a set of people, and he said that there's this organization named UiPath. We are into robotics and RP and stuff, and we were like, robotics? Oh, robotic arms. Oh, you mean robots, humanoids? Like, no, 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 no. It's different. We're like, hey, क्या different होगा robotics पे लेके? नहीं 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 नहीं, it's different. I'm like, He said, fill this form. There's this developer championship program and this and that. And we are like, ठीक है. For the first time in life, I went up to their platform and was like, गलत इंसान को गलत चीज पकड़ा दिया यार. It's like you understanding, implementing, doing certifications, understanding a tool, and then applying, telling people, building a community. एक और community. मेरे से नहीं हो रहा. But I applied. And like somehow surprisingly, after a month or two, they reached out to me saying, "Okay, we want you for an interview." I'm like, "Huh?" All the other fellow mates of mine who came with me for an interview, we all sat for interviews, and after a week of interview, they were like, "We're happy to tell you you've been selected." I'm like, "Hey, Bhagwan, I told everyone बहुत गंदा इंटरव्यू दूंगी ताकि तुम लोग सिलेक्ट हो जाओ. Go. Don't tell it to my placement director. He'll kill me. So that was one of the least prepared interviews. I never prepared. I didn't even do anything for an interview. I was just being myself out there. And he's like, we find you the most suitable match. So a friend of mine said, the very moment you filled that form, I knew there's no scope for us. I'm like, yes. So basically what this role demands and why they chose me was because they definitely needed a community leader or someone who has community experience, but they also needed someone who knows people inside your own university or your region. So I was someone, the best one they could find at that point of time. So what they basically want us to do is because it's a relatively newer technology, but RP is a booming industry. They wanted me to learn what is robotic process automation so that every time people ask me, Acha, wo industrial robotic, that humanoid, you say, no. Something like the chatbot that you see online. Something. So, you could relate and say stuff like that, or something that makes your day-to-day tasks easier. So at some point, people also say that RPA and AIML are very linked and interrelated. At a greater level, yes, at some points they have interconnections and stuff. But I won't deep dive into it because it's, a whole big RPA session. What we basically do as developer champions who have been selected from universities and regions are we are trained for a particular period of time to understand the concept and technology. UiPath is basically a platform that allows you to do robotic process automation. So this robotic process automation is a skill that you could develop, a booming skill. As a developer champion, we learn it from experts and then spread it out to masses because for free of cost, so that people get to know and understand. And if you're interested, come do certifications, learn, and take your job and go. There, trust me, we have data that says it's one of the highest rising industries right now. It's like the curve is just going up. There's no way it's going down or straight. It's like just going up. क्या मस्त स्लोप आता है उसका. You can't believe I saw that curve myself. That's the reason. The moment they were telling us, I was like, हाँ चलेगा. The moment I saw that curve, I was like, हाय ये क्या था. So really, it's a booming industry, and as developer champions, how we promote it is we host events, not normal events where we tell you theory stuff. It's more of hands-on events. Because people love building bots nowadays, we say, okay, we look at trends and we're like, okay, let's help you solve this problem this particular way with this particular bot. People get that inquisitiveness, huh? And then they sign up, they come to the event, they see how it's done, they get more excited, and they're like, okay, what more? How could we do and stuff and things. So as a developer champion, something that I've learned is you could play with people's curiosity to get your way out. And that's what a lot of companies across the globe do right now in a lot of different areas and sectors and earn millions and billions. So yeah, that's in and all around, what this thing was, how I got into it, what I do basically as a developer champion, and what UiPath has to offer. So they offer us a plethora of options, mentorship, guidance. They have one of the most structured community programs that's running currently in India. So they have so many influencers and they have so many, developer champions, but they treat them, in a sort of a reward manner. So you not just have to learn, you have to prove how much you've actually learned. You have to show your certifications. We have to certify you before you go and train people. So that's the best thing that happens. Just a nobody isn't coming and training you shit. The person who's coming and training you has been authorized that they can train you. So that's basically in and around anything. And anyone who wants to try out RPA, feel free to hop into a RPA session that I host. I would love to have another participant up there.
Sure, indeed. Ankita, just summarizing your entire journey, you have experience in product management, front end, content strategy, crowdsourcing, as well. Just to ask you, what is the area of interest that you enjoy the most, and how do you see your career evolving in the future?
Cool. This is an awesome question. I usually don't get this asked. People rather ask me, "What are your future goals?" And I'm like, "ये समझ में नहीं आएगा." But yeah, now because you've seen how I've learned and why I've explored, so all these things that I've done, like me and my technical skills, me and my PM skills, me and my community skills, all these three are something that I need for my greater goal, or a goal that I've had since childhood, being a part of an Ivy League as an MBA undergrad. So that's been a big fat dream of mine. And we all know how difficult it is to get into an Ivy League. So I did a lot of research when I was in my standard 10, when one of my school teachers said that go ahead and do research of what you want to do. What's your dream? How can you reach your dream? So I knew what my dream was. Then I searched about different universities. Ivy League has a set of universities together. So I searched all their criteria. As I saw videos. I never went to a career counselor because we don't have an experience. At that point of time, we did not have a career counselor here. We had to go to metropolitan cities and then figure things out. So I was like, okay, let's do this. I took it on my back. I started making my own lists. I have books that I've written, handwritten notes for every single university, process, program to figure out what's best for me. And I came up with a shortlisted few of 3 to 4 in hand. And then I was like, okay, this, and this. This is what I could do. This is what I will do. Requirements and things. When I went ahead, I saw geographically from my region who are the people who have the highest success rate. So I saw a similar career graph and certain set of skills that everyone had. Btech in CS or electrical, or Btech from anything, or business degree, was actually something that helped these people land up there from India mostly. So I was like, okay, business. I will see my teachers out there told me go into business, commerce, and this and that. I was like, if I do business studies here, or do anything in the world of finance here in India, I'll get stuck up, tied up, and I'll be here. I won't even get an opportunity to go abroad and study in my dream college of my dream degree and understand things. So I don't want to be in an Ivy League because some people say because my parents were Ivy League pass outs, I want to be in Ivy League. No, that's not the case for me for sure. I'll get great pay after Ivy League. No, that's not the case for me again for sure. Um, for me, it was like I wanted to be. I've always searched for a friend circle or a community around me or people around me through whom I could learn and develop myself. In life, one thing I've learned is you can only learn if whatever you want to learn, you can only learn if you are amongst the experts in that area. So I wanted to master and do something in life, which I unfortunately am keeping low key at this point, so I can't share with you. And I knew that I need that atmosphere is something I'll only get in Ivy League, and I can achieve only from an Ivy League or people, the training that I get there, or from the people who go there. So it's like this is it. So coming back to the point, like I trained, I did everything, I figured it out, and I was like, okay, Btech, sole source. You won't believe how hard JEE was for me. You won't believe. Like I had my own set of struggles, which I've said in a few forums earlier. If there are people who have known what I struggled through in my JEE years and stuff, my health issues and this and that and that. So there was a lot that came up. Somehow or the other, I did not manage to get into those set of colleges in India, which I should have been, and I landed up in a college which was one of my least priority colleges. But I'm happy to be here because I got an opportunity to do a lot more, which a lot of my friends couldn't do. When I landed here, I started figuring out ways what could I do to be equivalent to those people or at par to those people who have highest possible chances from my region to get selected. How could I at least outcast these people and be first in the race? So I found out, okay, it's not just my tech skills that will help me because that's not what they only want. They need a lot of interpersonal skills because there I would do management. I need to understand in my sphere what sort of management is required. It's product management that's required in my technical area. So I started exploring that area and figuring things out. I started learning, being up to date to technologies with Product Hunt through LinkedIn, through social media platforms, through Reddit, and through a lot more stuff. And community, I understood, to make a product successful, you need to have strong, very strong community relations. And community relations are not built overnight. It's 5 to 10 years of hard work that you put in. So the moment I understood the potential communities had, I started investing time into it. A lot of people say it's not worth the money. It's worth 100 times the money, and there are a lot of you who won't understand. It's not worthy for everyone, but for someone who will need it and use it in the future, it's a plethora and it's a gold mine. And for people like me, it's really a gold mine. So I'm never in my life going to let go of community and community life, because I would need it. If I want to do MBA and if I want to be in an Ivy League, if I don't even get into an Ivy League or get my MBA from any other organization across the globe, institution across the globe, this is something I would need. I would need these connections. I would need to know how things work out in these sectors to be successful and to
Mhm.
attain my ultimate goal. So, yeah, that's why I explored and I got into all this stuff, because initially I have to stand out with my application into my dream universities and colleges and courses. At the same time, after I graduate from those places, what do I actually need in hand? The technical skills that would help me in the genre or the job description I want to be into. So that's the reason I got these three sectors particularly. I would say I really love product management because, as I said earlier, it is you seeing something evolve. So when you see a small flower from a seed to a flower, a big blooming flower,
To me.
it's amazing. That journey is amazing. And someone who's doing it, the horticulturist who's doing it, it's amazing for them. So when you see a product bloom and come into industry and people use it, it's not just people. I don't do it for people praising me. I rather do it to see that, okay, I could use my senses and I could use my creativity to build something that solves solutions. We have tons of problems every day. If there's something or someone which can solve my problem or solve something that I want, that's the biggest thing I could do. So let's make the world a more happier place. Let's do it.
Indeed. Yeah.
I'm not running some sort of agenda, but I'm just saying, if you build a product of that level and caliber, it gives you enough peace. So yeah, for me, my most loved part is product management, but I can't do it without community support. And I definitely can't do it without technical skills. I can't do it without technical skills. So yeah, that's where the thing lies.
Yeah, Ankita, indeed. So, Ankita, though the throughout the way you talked, there was a great things to be noted down. A lot of tips and like the things that you have already experienced. Those learnings are really what I feel is valuable to a viewer. But yet, I would again like to ask you, for those who are staring at you, people like you, and are yet to start their journey in tech, what would be the or are willing to start a new career in technology, specifically for be it anyone, women or men. So what advice would you provide, or what recommendations would you give them?
If it's a woman who's starting out in tech, before you come to tech, please be aware of the various situations and scenarios you'll be put into if you're into a tech industry. There will be days you'll have to have sleepless nights. You cannot go and play a gender card there saying I'm a woman and I can't work in so and so circumstances or so and so hours. Before you enter this industry, you must know what the industry practices are and how things happen. So every industry that you choose, not just tech, be well aware of, do your own research of why and where you're getting into. Be aware of all the possible pros and cons, then wait and come here. If you're into tech, I would suggest, if you're a woman who's into tech, who's starting out, you have plethora of options for you. So the first thing, as I said earlier, was get to know what in tech do you want, then how do you want it, and then where would you get it from. So if you follow this 3-step rule of what, how, and where, I don't think there's anything that's going to stop you from success. There are so many programs, but you have to understand what is best for you, how would you even be a part of it, and where after that program would you actually be. So Just try to figure out the correct opportunities for you. There are so many platforms, communities, forums, places, and nowadays even universities are coming up with emails and telling you, okay, this is a very good opportunity for you all, do it. So you'll get so many things, you'll get lists, make a timetable, or jot down all this somewhere and figure out what's best for you. Prepare for it with your whole heart and you'll be there. For women, trust me, it can't be easier. It has never been as easy as it is in this particular time frame of 5 to 6 years. And if it's not today, it's going to be never. If you want this to happen, you have to make it happen now. The second thing is, if you're a woman and you are entering into this industry, please keep in mind all the struggles you have gone till date to be here. And if you have any issue anywhere, keep your struggles in mind to move forward, because struggles always become history which you could refer to. Your own struggles are better history examples than anyone else's life examples. So everything you've given to be here, the major issue with women is you start out but you leave it midway. Don't leave it midway. If you've struggled so hard for this, there's nothing that should stop you from going ahead. As I told you, if you have 100% heart of being someone you want to be, and you know this is your track, please go through this track. You need a track, because you have the highest number of distractions and you have the highest number of people who stop you from getting what you want. So you have to understand, you have to make yourself the you who can achieve your dream. For men, if you ask me, if you're starting out, you have to, according to the Indian tradition at least, you have to be the bread earner and bread owner. So you have to know what you have to do to become a bread earner and bread owner. First of all, before you start into tech, the first skill I think every man, as soon as you reach the age of 15 or 16, you should actually start your financial education. Even for women, start your financial education and start understanding because in tech, from first year onwards you start earning a lot, or before even you enter first year you start earning a lot. You have to understand where your money is. So first, both of you learn how you could manage your finances, then learn what could get you those finances, and then keeping the try increasing the level of finances you have in your bank
Exactly.
accounts. So for men, it's too competitive. I agree. Don't get disheartened and frustrated, because वो उस खजाने को पाने में मजा ही क्या जिसमें कसरत या मेहनत ही ना लगे. Things become far more easier for you. Now, for women, I would say remote jobs are something that are great option for you, because you usually your major issue is you can't walk out of house most of the cases, or you have family issues because of which you have to spend most of the hours in house. So you have remote options for men. At the same time, if you have things to deal with in family, or you have health issues or this or that, you have remote options in tech industry. So what I'm saying is, no matter what your gender is, be aware of what you want, make your own track. No roadmap would help you. My roadmap won't work for you. Bhaiya's roadmap won't work for you. Someone named XYZ's roadmap won't work for you. You have to make your own roadmap. You have to work on it. You
Exactly.
have to be diligent. So make your own roadmap, a roadmap of your life, a roadmap of your skill set, a roadmap for your financial spending, a roadmap for what do you want to be in the next 10 years, and so on. So I think that's the best thing I would suggest you to. It has helped me, and I assure you it will help you for sure.
Great, Ankita. It was really enlightening to hear you throughout the session. And truly, right from how did you plan your career and to accomplishing one step by at the other, it was really great hearing you. And I believe not only me, but the entire family that is who are viewing the session would have been benefited in a great way. So thank you so much for joining, Ankita. It was really great. And again, wishing you a happy Women's Day.
Thank you so much for having me here, and hope all of you who have heard me today by any or the other way, I've helped you at some point somewhere. And yes, thank you so much again for having me, and hope you all have a great day ahead, month ahead, week ahead, year ahead, and life ahead. Thank you. Bye.